loud. Turn it up loud.
Welcome. You're now listening to It's Just a Show podcast. Controversial.
Yo, did she really say that?
No, I think she did.
Entertaining, innovative, real, and raw. Hold on tight. Here's your host, the one and only, Hustle Queen Lee.
Yo, welcome back, everybody. I want to thank you for tuning in to another review of House of Payne, episode 11, entitled Hard Lessons. I want to thank you guys for commenting. Thank you for continuing to view. If you got family, friends, associates, people you just know from around the way, and you know that they are a fan of the House of Payne, and they just love listening to good reviews, make sure you tell them about your girl to come check out the page. We know we're going to have some fun. New shows are coming back with new seasons, and I'm also going to be reviewing Tyler Perry's Sisters, which happens to be one of my favorite shows out right now. So yeah, make sure y'all come check it out if you are a fan of Sisters. I am also going to post all of my podcast episodes to my YouTube channel. You can also listen to it on Spotify. It's called It's Just a Show podcast. However, like I said, I'm going to upload everything to my YouTube page. So because I don't have much to say about this episode, I'm also going to talk about sisters and assisted living. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you continue to comment. I love engaging with you guys. And here we go. Y'all know how I do it, so I'm going to get right into it. Now, episode 11 opens up with Curtis and Ella doing their same ring around the rosy dialogue. Basically, Curtis is at the table. He is shocked that Ella does not have his breakfast prepared for him. And so he goes on, and he's very serious in what he says. He's talking about how basically, she's a wife, and she's supposed to be performing her wifely or womanly duties, which is basically to serve him, to clean after him, to cook for him, to just provide whatever he wants, whenever he wants it. And I'm like, ever since the inception of House of Payne, we have seen Curtis exhibit these chauvinistic behaviors. And, Ella would say certain things. She'd get upset, baby, you don't cherish me. You don't, respect me. You don't honor me. So nothing that she was saying in this episode was fairly new. It was something that has already been happening since the show aired. So, we see Curtis and her going back and forth, and she basically was like, hey, you want to clean, you want to eat, you do it yourself. And she, she basically left, and she went over to Calvin's house. Now, it was very interesting, the dialogue that she had with Calvin. The thing that kind of threw me off was that Calvin basically told his mom, like, Pop has always been Pop. He has treated you like this for years. He's not changing. He basically has never appreciated you. He does love you, but he has a funny way of showing it. And she was like, basically, I know that. Like, I know these things. And for me, Ella is a great example of what happens and what will happen if you do not nip in the bud these toxic behaviors that you may see in your partner. Because before you know it, you blink your eyes, 5 years have gone by, and you're still stuck in the same toxic, cycle. So that's what I see when I look at Ella. I know that Ella is a woman who loves her family. She loves cooking for her family, being there for her family, cleaning up after her family, and that's all well and good. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it gets to a point where when you don't feel appreciated, when you don't feel cherished, when you don't feel that this person is, joyful that they have you in their lives, and they start taking you for granted, that would affect any woman or man, in a negative way. But I'm like, ain't nothing gonna happen. At the end of the episode, Curtis shows up at Calvin's house. Baby, I miss you. And, I'm going to treat you better. He sound like a toddler. And I'm like, it takes more than a couple of hours to eradicate behaviors that have existed for 30 plus years. That's just what it is. But this is Tyler Perry's working, so you know how that go. So, mentioning of Calvin, staying with Calvin. So Ella comes over, and she was basically telling him that his house was a mess. It needed to be cleaned thoroughly. And she talked to him briefly about Miranda. Well, he brought it up. He was like, speaking since you're here, this thing with Laura and Miranda, for whatever reason, I don't know why, basically you have been telling Miranda that there's an opportunity for us to get back together when there's not. And so Ella was basically saying, well, if you guys are really over, you don't have any feelings, she should be able to drop off Christian to your house. You should be able to drop off Christian to her house. And I agree with her. And so Calvin got on my nerves. He sound like a spoiled brat this episode. When Miranda came over to drop off Christian, I have to give props to Miranda because she basically laid her cards on the table. She told Calvin that she still loved him. She apologized for asking for a divorce. She felt like she wanted more, not realizing what she wanted the whole time was right in front of her face, which was Calvin. And so she asked Calvin, like, do you really like Laura? Calvin says yes. And he asked Miranda, does that bother you? And she was like, yeah, of course, because I still love you. And so she basically just put everything out there. So Calvin was like, And she was like, she could already tell this was a lost cause. So she was like, well, should I just, should we just go back to dropping off Christian at your mom's? And he was like, yeah. And at this point, I'm trying to really understand what is it that Calvin is so mad about? What is he so angry about at this moment in time? Miranda clearly can see that you have a great interest in another woman. She can see that how you feel about her, you're not making any active changes to change it. So it's like, really, dude, what are you mad about? Because Calvin acts like a man scorned. He just acts like, he still loves Miranda and he's deeply hurt about the divorce situation. And I'm just like, well, if you want to back, damn it, fight for her. If you don't want to back, there's no reason why there should be so much animosity in your heart at this moment. And no, I'm not telling nobody, hey, get over it. Move on with your life. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, who wants to walk around just being angry all the time? You know what I'm saying? No person. If you listening and this just happens to be you, nobody should be able to have that type of power or control or influence that when they come around, your whole energy just shifts. And if that happens, you have to deal with that, and you have to deal with it in truth and honesty. Unfortunately, for the characters of Miranda and Calvin, they have a child with each other. So you must learn to coexist. You must learn to act as an adult with this other person, regardless of the hurt, the anger, the whatever else you have towards them. Because for me, if I'm dating a dude and I see every time your ex come around, it causes you to get in this type of attitude, I'm going to take it where there's some unfinished business there. There's some unresolved feelings there. So before I decide to go any further with you, you got to deal with that. You got to tell me the real deal. And it can't just be, nah, ain't nothing there. I don't like her like that. No, it's something. It's something. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen between Calvin, Laura, and Miranda, and see how that really comes full circle and really what happens with that. Man, where's Janine? Where's Janine? Where's China? I don't know how much more. They really bring a certain energy to the show, and when they are not present, it is an absence that is truly missed, and it's truly felt. And I want to correct something because I had a lot of people ask me about Janine on Facebook, as well as like not instant, but direct messaging. And I think I told somebody the wrong thing, but if not, I'm going to correct it here. Demetria McKinney is considered a recurring, she has a recurring role on the show. And basically what that means is she's not a main character. However, she does have she's a main focus on the show, and there can be or will be major stories surrounding recurring characters. It's just that you just won't see her as often as you would see the main characters, like, Ella, Curtis, Malik, and CJ. China is actually considered a main character as well, which is interesting because I would consider her recurring because you don't see her as much either. But that said, Demetria McKinney is doing her thing. I know right now she's on 2 other shows. One is called A House Divided. She is amazing on that show. And it's another show. It's called Motherland or something. I don't watch it. It's not my cup of tea, but I did see a clip of it and it looks fire. It's just not, a personal It's just not something that kind of like pulls me in. But that's what's going on with Demetria McKinney. Hopefully we see her back next week. Because Jesus, Jesus on the main line telling what you want. God, I want Demetria McKinney back. I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't know. Somebody asked me to do like a grading scale of 1 to 5 when I do the reviews. I'm gonna give the show probably 2.5 stars. That's just how I feel about it. The scene where Curtis had called CJ and Malik over, saying it was a fire in the house looking all trashy. Like, Ella been gone for a few hours. You managed to mess up the house like that. And, he was like, I miss you, CJ. And I thought, for me, it always seems like Tyler writes the show where there can be a powerful moment, but it's taken away because it turns into a supposed to be humorous situation, but it's never funny. And so I really felt like CJ, being the grown, being the adult, being the other fellow married man in the family, he could have talked to Curtis like seriously. You know what I'm saying? I know they say it's hard for old dogs to learn new tricks, but if you won't be getting no new nothing if you don't change your ways. I felt like it could have been a powerful moment, yet, like I said, it was stolen because, it turned into something funny, which I did not. I'm like, come on. You've been taking, the reality, you've been taking this woman for granted. Your nephew has seen it for years because basically CJ grew up like he was their son, and everybody has bear witness to this. And it's like, nobody gonna check Curtis, like really check him in a respectful way. Like, look, if this woman decides she ain't going nowhere, but if she ever decided she really want to leave you, she has like ample opportunity. She has ample, experiences with you to make that a valid decision for her. I just felt like it was a missed opportunity when it came to when it came to CJ really talking to Curtis. Like I said, I really think that's all that I have for this. I just, it is what it is. It's going to be very challenging because I have become so accustomed to seeing 2 episodes because it kind of made things a lot better with doing the review. But since now Sisters is coming back next week, which is October 14th, Wednesday, it's going to be difficult because, honestly, the show is on for 30 minutes, but you probably get maybe 19 to 23 minutes of actual content from the show. So I'm going to try my best to just give the best review I can do with the little time that we have for the show. So that's really all I have. If I missed anything, I probably did. You guys can put it in the comments. So now I'm about to go over to assisted living because I had some people who asked me to review that. I tried to give the show a fair shot. I was going to sit there and just binge watch the episodes. Let me tell y'all, I only made it through 2. That is a show. I do not like that show. I could not get into that show. Last night, I actually saw the ending of the last episode that was aired because I happened to stop by my mom's and she was watching it. So I watched like the last little, maybe 10 minutes of it, and I didn't like it. I don't know if the acting is too much. It just seemed unreal. And so the part I'm speaking of, for those who do watch the show, Assisted Living, it was where the daughter, it was right before the daughter came back, the son came in, and they were asking, like, where have you been? Where's your sister? And so Brown was like, just going back and forth with him. And he was like, I thought I was tear that ass up. I'm like, oh, so we have little teenagers just cursing around their elders. Not like a cursing around your elders. This man is old enough to be your grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, for me, and I know they're having a whole lot of talks about this show because J. Anthony Brown curses a lot in the show. I was spending time with my aunt and my uncle, and they just so happened to watch 2 of the shows, and that's how I watched it. And this man said the S word so much, which I know Tyler is writing the script, and it almost seems like, Tyler, just because you have, the license to use profanity, you don't have to go overboard, sir. Like, you really, it takes away from it. Not that I'm not a fan of using profanity, because yes, if you read my last book, Between Brothers, it is an adult content book, okay? However, you use the words appropriately or when they are needed. Don't just put them in there in weird places where it don't need to be. And that's how I feel he does assisted living. Like, the cursing is really not even needed, but he puts it in there, and I'm just like, I got tired of that very quickly. Then going to when the daughter comes home and we find out that she is like interested in this person who supposedly is only 18 years old, but he drives the bus and he's a teacher. I'm like, what the hell? 18, drive the bus, and he's a teacher at the school? Come on. Then she gets in trouble. The mama tell her to come on. They go in the kitchen. They're talking. So it's the mom, the dad, and the girl. And, she got in trouble because she didn't tell them she was going to the mall. And she was like, well, I didn't have to ask when I was back at home. And the dad was like, yeah, because we only live 3 blocks away. I don't give a damn if we lived across the street from the mall. You're underage. You ask me before you leave my house. And so when I'm looking at this parenting style, I'm like, I wish I would. Underage, and I'm telling my mom, I don't even tell my mom. I just get out the house and leave. I'm fully grown. And if I'm going out of town, if I'm going somewhere, my mother is fully aware. It's a respect thing. I don't want you worrying about me. And it's not about someone being in, my business. It's like, look, that's the most important person in my life. I want you to know this is where I'm going. This is where I'll be staying. This is who I'm with. This is how long I'll be gone. Because you need to know that things happen so quickly. And what the mom said was true. Sex trafficking is at an all-time high. It's at an all-time high, regardless if you're in the country or the city. And her response was valid, but it was just like it came out of nowhere. Like, she just spazzed. The tears, it was just interesting. And then my thing is, you sent the girl to her room before you even really got enough information from her. Get out my face. Go to your room. No, I know we need to talk. So I really hope if, y'all let me know, because like I said, I can't watch this show. I just want to know if the mom and the dad are going to have a serious conversation with this girl, because just excusing her didn't do anything. You still know nothing about this person that your daughter has been spending time with. You know what I'm saying? And what has happened in one day you go to school, your whole life, she just came back home looking all like she was on cloud 9. This is from one interaction with this guy. So what did he do to you, for you, or say to you in 20 minutes of you being around him? They got you all like this. The parents know nothing. But yeah, sorry for those who wanted me to review the show. I cannot. I tried. And for me to say I cannot, I can't. I won't. It's a very difficult watch. So I'm sorry. I gave it a try. That's a show I cannot get down with, can't get into. It's worse than Bros. And that says a lot. That says a whole lot. So no, I can't do it. I tried, y'all. I really, really did. So now shifting into Sisters. Sisters is one of my favorite shows. Like I said earlier, I'm so happy that it's coming back October 14th on BET at 9:00. They are having a 2-hour premiere. It's the second season. And don't get me wrong, it's not like the writing is superb on Sisters either. However, I think because there are 4 women and they each have their own thing going on, Danny is my least favorite character. So I know I'm probably going to upset a whole lot of people. But Danny is my least favorite character on the show for many reasons. We'll get into that. My favorite character on the show is Karen for many reasons. I just think overall, Sisters kind of reminds me of a millennial Girlfriends. And I think Tyler, he writes this show like it's a soap opera instead of a sitcom, and maybe that helps him a little bit when it comes to the writing aspect. There's still some repetitive dialogue that he needs to just throw away. And my biggest fear is that when I watch this show next week, it's going to piss me off because of the lackluster writing. I hope not, because I think they shot like 21 episodes in 11 days. So I'm like, Lord, just please, because I love this show. One of my favorite shows. For those who watch it, you know that we ended, with Karen. Karen has gone through a lot with Aaron. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. She has. However, I'm team Karen and Aaron. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. A lot of y'all are team, Karen and Zach, and I get it. Zach is fine. DeVal Ellis, who plays Zach, he's fine as hell. However, Kevin, who plays Aaron, he's fine as hell too. He's that matured fine. It was like it was like a love triangle for a majority of the season. However, Karen made the decision that she wanted to explore and see what could happen really between her and Aaron if she really gave him a chance, like really. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. With Andy, we left off. Andy was out in the middle of nowhere. She did not want to she just didn't want to do nothing. You got the FBI there telling you, hey, we need you to comply with us. This chick basically said, hell no. Now you stuck 2 hours from Atlanta in the middle of nowhere, and they basically told you to walk your happy ass home. She got on a dress and heels. So I'm interested in finding out, where's Andy? How did she get back home? What happened? Because this man had took all of her money. He drained her accounts. She has nothing. They wouldn't even let this chick get her purse and her phone out the car. She just out in the middle of nowhere with no technology. Then we have Danny and white boy, Preston. They ended where she went back and got him from the club. She wanted him back, and Danny was just a whole hot mess. Sabrina, I really think Sabrina gonna have a breakdown because Sabrina really tries to be there for everybody. Sabrina could be rude at times too and overstep her bounds, in my opinion, as a friend. I think Tyler did great with this ensemble. I just hope he don't mess it up. But I'm so happy for the return of Sisters. So if you enjoy Sisters, somebody who enjoys Sisters, make sure you let them know. I'm gonna be reviewing the show as well. Also, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I do. If there's a show out there that you guys want me to review or just my opinion about the show, you can let me know in the comments. Also, make sure that you guys check out my blog. It's www.hustlequeenlee.com. I'll put all the information in the description box. I actually did a write-up on House of Payne, and it is entitled, Has House of Payne Become a Pain to Watch? So you guys can go there. You can read it. You can also comment. As I stated before, if you are a fan, are a fan of the show canceled now, but the Fox TV show Star, I created my own fan fiction story called Deeper Than Sex, where basically Alex and Noah are the main focus of the story because they were my favorite characters on the show. Make sure you check that out too at www.hustlequeenlee.com. That's really all I have for this particular episode. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for rocking with me. I appreciate you. Y'all be safe out there. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later. One.